there's a hidden presupposition that is so often there in a lot of change work and coaching, which is that there is some change that we make, and then we want to get that change to stick or to hold. We're moving from one solid state to another solid state, right? We want a new holding pattern, let's say. Dissolve the old holding pattern, create a new holding pattern. I tend to choose a different lens. I have this particular concept of the arc of becoming, and that we are always on the arc of becoming. We are always on it. There is no done. There's no finished point. There's no, right, I'm there, I'm done. Right, good, thank you. So that doesn't mean, of course, every client that I'm working with is on an arc of becoming. And a lot of them, the issue is that they've actually lost contact with their arc of becoming. That's the issue. Once they reconnect with their arc of becoming, and I tend to think a little bit sort of narratively in this term. So I'm often going back in time and sort of subtly waking up the fact that there's an arc that's been happening and good things have been happening in spite of the block. That the arc hasn't been blocked. It can seem like it has been blocked, but actually it hasn't been blocked. Things have been happening. And then, how that arc of becoming continues out into the future. I really believe when people are connected to the arc of becoming, then they're on the adventure. Because what I want is I want people to be on their adventure, in life. That's the thing. And they don't need me to be on their adventure. And maybe their adventure stalled or got stuck or something like that. And maybe I make myself obsolete by getting them back on their adventure and back as their adaptive, problem-solving, exploring, choosing, creating, dynamic self. I'm getting them back on their adventure. Once they're on their way, I can go, wave them on their way. And that's what I want to get to. So for my version of obsolete is not so much about making it stick. It's about them getting them back on their adventure. And that adventure will have challenges. It will have, it will have risk. This is part of the reason. Again, I love clean stuff. I do, but I'm not going to pretend that I don't have experiences and perspectives and outlooks and proclivities. I do. I'm a human being. We all do. So I want to kind of own what I bring in terms of my outlooks and perspectives, but there are biases in there. And I have biases like life isn't supposed to be about safety. And I honor the fact that we crave safety and we crave risk at the same time. That's often, it's a challenge. So I don't want to try and make someone's life safe. I sometimes want to help them adjust their relationship with risk and danger. For example, they might come in going, safety, and they might have a part that wants safety. So all of these things are in the mix. And again, as a coach, my tack is I often talk about adaptiveness. If somebody said, what do you want to coach people in? It's adaptiveness. It's the ability that when life comes along and chucks crap at you, how do you dance with it? How do you create with it? How do you, move forward with it? So I've always got my biases about this, and I don't want to come from a place of going, right, you need to be more adaptive. It's not that. Whatever gets created in terms of adaptiveness is co-created. So, that's kind of where it's at. A lot of it's seeding. Some of what we do in a session might create an immediate change. Some of it may yet to be activated or created with in a person's mind. I spent a year being coached by Steve Chandler, and his coaching still creates changes in my life now. Because something will happen and things that, some concept that's been evolving since we had that coaching time, another thing happens with it. So I'm always aware that the work that I do with somebody or that we do together, I want to emphasize that, can still be generative years down the track, even when we've gone our separate ways. And that's kind of what I want more than making things stick, getting people back on their adventure, giving them, now we're in the adventure space. I'm thinking about the Lord of the Rings, because I read that when I was young and I loved it. I read it twice before the movies came out. the hobbits and the party, they meet the elves and they're going on their adventure, and the elves give them this lembis, this incredibly nutritious sort of bread that's wrapped up that they can take, and it stays fresh and it nourishes them on their journey. So sometimes I think about these things that we want to give that are going to nourish people on their journey, even if we're not with them anymore.